Midwest Ghost Hunters with our Dark Matter podcast at Pythian Castle in Springfield, Missouri. Thanks for downloading another episode. We finally have Kristen's investigation up on the website with the videos that we've referred to. We got some pictures put up there and all the EVPs. You can check that out at mwghosthunters.com. Actually, I've got it right on the homepage, or you can just click on the investigations tab, and that'll take you to all of our investigations that we've done recently. So go on there and check that out. Got the thumbs up from Kristen on it. She looked at it and said it looked good. So I don't remember if we've even mentioned. I know we mentioned at one point that a magazine reporter was going to come with us on an investigation, and then there were scheduling issues. I don't remember if we've ever mentioned what the alternative solution to that.
Yeah, we did. We talked about that last week.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do, just to refresh, is we're going to do an investigation of the magazine offices. This is 417 Magazine.
They do a really good job of covering the Southwest Missouri area.
Yeah, and it's done very well. It's very, very good. But anyway, to make it easier on scheduling this kind of thing, because it's very difficult with the way we schedule things versus the way that a newspaper or magazine schedules that kind of stuff for deadlines and whatnot. It's very difficult to get our schedules coordinated. So we're going to investigate their building, where they create or write. They do the magazine. I don't know. They probably don't print it there, but that's where everything's put together. And the reason we're going to do that is not just because it makes scheduling easier, which it does, but because they've had reports of the place having paranormal activity for a long time.
Okay, like what kind of stuff are they talking about?
Well, that's what I told him. I said we can do that. If you've got reports of paranormal activity, we can investigate there, and you can come along, with us and kind of, document it that way. I said, but we need an idea of what's happening there. So he gathered up the people in the office, and he got them together, and they kind of submitted a few of their stories. I got the first round of them. There's supposed to be another round of them coming.
Okay, all right. Well, let's hear it.
These are some of the office staff at the magazine. What's the word I'm trying to think? It's headquarters in the word. What the fuck is it?
Their office.
I guess their offices. Yeah, they're
the office of 417 Magazine.
Yeah, that'll work. So these are the people who work there and some of the experiences that they've had that we're going to be looking into. This lady says, most of my experiences are hearing noises or phantom typing and feeling like someone else is here with me late at night. But one time I had to come back to the office in the evening, and my husband came with me. We heard something back in the editor's office. I told him it was probably this other worker who's sometimes there. He went and looked and was determined to prove it was something unexplainable. He was in the middle of saying something along the lines of, it's not really a ghost, when something else made a noise from what is now a coworker's desk. It sounded like something falling or being knocked over. It shut him up real quick, and we left.
Okay.
Here's another one. Most of my encounters have been auditory sounds like keyboard typing. That seems to be a popular one.
That's odd.
Is the keyboard typing. That's what I've been trying to think of, already debunking in my head. It's like, what could that, possibly be? We'll have to see when we get there. Also, I'm fairly certain our old marketing director was here late one evening making copies in the printer room, and she heard what sounded like the furniture being moved in the studio, which shares a wall with the printer room. We walked over there to see what was happening. It was dark and empty, so there wasn't even any furniture in there. Okay, let's see. Here's another one. Let's see, what does that say? I thought I slacked it, but it appears I didn't. I was in the ladies' room some time ago. When I was in there, not near the sink, but sitting down, the faucet turned on. I thought I slacked it. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's a typo. Anyway, the water turned on while she was going to the bathroom. And here's a longer one. This happened back when another coworker sat at the desk where I sit now. It was the end of the day, and everybody else in the office had left. I had my dog here with me. My coworker had left like 10 or 15 minutes before this, and the dog had been laying on my office floor. She hopped onto her feet. I started hearing sounds like someone was ruffling through papers at my coworker's desk. I thought she'd pop back into the office. The dog walked over to the opening of my office door, looked into that office, and started wagging her tail, and I called out, hey, coworker's name, but there was no answer. I still heard rustling and stuff. I stepped out of my office to look, but nobody was there. I did a lap around the office. Nobody was anywhere. So believers say it was Mildred. So everybody's using the name Mildred. To play along with believers, I say she must be nice because Piper, the dog, wasn't growling or acting afraid. But I believe it could be maybe the HVAC blowing papers or something. I hope. I don't know. So she's already debunking a little bit. I'll have to look into this Mildred person. I don't know.
I don't know. So far, it sounds kind of like some poltergeist type stuff.
I don't, yeah, it could be.
I mean,
it could be. I mean, given where they're located, I'm trying to think, why would anybody, we've talked about this before. Why would you haunt where you worked.
I think it just depends if it's somebody that's like my dad. See, I think my dad would be a great candidate for something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
His entire identity was wrapped up in his job.
Yeah.
So I could see something like that. Maybe Mildred was somebody who
could be. She could have been.
I don't know anything about it, but
she could have been like a fixture that had been there for no telling how long, and I don't know. Her entire identity could have been in editing or whatever she did there. It helps if you read the whole email. So let me read what the Jamie sent us about these stories. Hell, I should have started there. Sorry it took a while to get these to you. Here are a few of the stories from our team. There's a mix of people who've worked here for a long time and people who are relatively new. For context, a lot of people took to calling the ghost Mildred. So that's okay. So they just call they call it that. Okay. So there was no Mildred.
Okay.
But there is a Mildred.
Yeah, there is a Mildred, but there was no living.
So they just
Mildred.
named it Mildred.
Yeah, they just named it Mildred.
That's cute.
Remember that time we did one where they named the ghost Fungus?
I don't remember Fungus. I think I would have remembered.
Oh, you weren't there. It was Republic. You weren't there either. Hell, I'm the only one here. It was
the
Republic.
hell are you talking about?
The first time we went to a house in Republic, which we later went back to, and I think both you guys did go to later, the second one.
Yeah, that's the makeup place that we got thrown at.
The ghosts there, the family on our first trip talked about how they called it Fungus. So people do name these things for whatever reason. I don't know if that's good or bad. But anyway.
Maybe it just helps ease anxiety if you just give it a silly name.
Where 417 magazine is not, we're not talking about an old 100-year-old building. Do you know where it is?
It's over by Sam's, isn't it?
Yeah, it's right there by Sam's. And it's a fairly new, strip mall type place. So I don't know. If it was haunted, it would be a case of maybe someone, I don't know. I'm not even going to venture into trying to guess why it is or isn't. We'll just go out there and kind of see what happens. But we're going to do that, and we're going to have the staff, or at least a couple of photographer and a writer, a journalist, tag along with us while we do it. They want to document, how we do what we do and kind of what happens, as we do it. So in that vein, I'm kind of hoping, some pretty good stuff happens to give them at least a decent article. Otherwise, it could be incredibly boring. I'm sure as a good writer, and he can make it, interesting.
See, I think that's the thing that most people don't understand about paranormal investigations. That, if you've watched these shows and everything else, you've even listened to these podcasts that we do, it sounds incredibly exciting. That, here it is, you go into the room and all of a sudden you hear this thing. Most of the time, it's sitting around in rooms for hours and hours with nothing going on.
I've fallen asleep. I've literally fallen asleep. Whenever we did that nursing home, which we can't give a lot of details on, me and Tyler went to this dark room, patient room, that was empty except for a wheelchair and an oxygen tank. And I literally sat there propped up against the wall and realized I had fallen asleep.
Is that the one where he lifted his legs up and you took a picture of his ass?
Yeah. I had to do something to keep myself awake. Yeah, that's the one. So anyway, yeah, they can get a little dull sometimes. Yeah, if you watch the TV shows, and speaking of, I did watch Ghost Adventures last night.
Oh.
But if you watch the TV shows, they've pared it down to the, that's packaged up and ready to be consumed.
And even ours here, we will still, what you're listening back to, when we do an investigation reveal and we play back this and we have got less than 60 seconds total of audio. That's probably from a 6-hour investigation that we had done that has, I don't know, 50 hours of recording time, something like that?
And even when you go to the website just to look through, like Kristen's investigation, for example, you're going to look through there and you're going to see these videos, you're going to see all these EVPs, you're going to think, man, but those were, pared down from a whole lot of shit, a whole lot of boring stuff, too.
And it feels like 90% of this stuff, John is like the only one who hears it, too, because we're all talking while it's happening.
Well, it's because he's the one going through the audio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But live while we're there.
Yeah, I can. Sometimes I will. I've gotten better. I'll admit, I've gotten better at hearing stuff like that. In the beginning, I couldn't hear jack shit when it would happen. Now I've gotten a little bit better. I think being here at the castle has helped a lot. So occasionally I will hear things, on site, but many times I don't. I've almost got to be actively trying to hear them at that moment when they happen. But anyway, yeah, it does. It's one of those things that sounds, like it's just nonstop. Things flying around, people running in every direction. and it's just really it's just not.
Yeah, it's really not. And if you really do like ghosts and ghost hunting, quote unquote, you're better off to take any of the tours. Like Pythian Castle's got the ghost tours here, and have someone else come in and tell you stories about stuff. That way you get them in bites. If you're in there trying to actually catch the ghost and you're on the hunt, just be ready for that to be hours and hours and hours of nothing.
Yeah, and speaking of those, I got to say, I just returned back from driving to the East Coast. Speaking of tours, while I was out there, I saw a billboard for, it was a Smoky Mountain Haunted Tour. It was a nice billboard with a nice graphic on it. And I thought, oh shit, I'm going to remember that. I'm going to look it up next time we podcast so I can, give them a plug and kind of see what it's all about. I don't even know what all's haunted out there. As we sat here this morning getting ready to do this podcast, I can't fucking find it. Hunter, can you look and see if there's, use your search abilities to see if you can find anything on the Smoky Mountain Haunted Tour. I saw the damn billboard, so I don't know exactly what it is, and it had a little map on the billboard that shows you all the different, locations they take you through the Smoky Mountains to stop at these haunted locations. I can't find it. I was going to give them a little plug here, but I can't find anything about it. And I do have to say, off the subject, speaking of driving, to the East Coast, I've got to say, Kentucky gets 2 thumbs up on their highway department. What do they call it? KDOT? I don't know what they call it, but their highway department is fantastic. Mississippi should be ashamed. Fucking terrible. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, what the roads of Mississippi?
Yeah.
They're fucking terrible.
They should be fucking ashamed.
What's so bad about their roads?
I'm talking like on a 3-lane, interstate style road, hitting a motherfucking pothole.
Oh my God.
That will rattle the whole car. Yeah, it was just nuts. Kentucky was like fucking brand new highway the whole way through it.
It felt like there was road work everywhere we went in Mississippi, and I don't know what the hell that road work amounts to, because it's never new.
They need to do some motherfucking road work, because my God, it's fucking awful.
I don't think I've ever seen a pothole on an interstate.
You got to watch. You got to be on your guard when you're driving down through Mississippi, because you'll hit something that will rattle your cage. Kentucky was fantastic. Their roads were all freshly paved and black and brand new white paint on them the whole way through, and it's like,
when I went to Florida, I remembered, I think Kentucky and Tennessee weren't bad.
Oh, Tennessee was good too. Yeah, Tennessee was great. Anyway, that's off the subject. I haven't heard back from the girl in Branson that we've talked about. I did message, I texted her while we were podcasting the last time and told her that we were talking about it. She didn't, did she? I don't
see. That's not uncommon. Also, that if you're somebody who's thinking about getting into the paranormal investigation, it is not uncommon to have people, pardon the pun, but ghost you.
Oh yeah,
they just disappear. You send them a message and they're just gone.
That happens a lot. And I don't know if it's they just, we're not blaming, whatever works, but it does happen a lot. We'll get to the point of setting up. That happened to us in December. Remember, we were the day before.
Yeah, Battlefield.
Because I was trying to get, I was in Battlefield, and I was trying to get, that may be it, Gatlinburg Ghosts of the Smokies.
I'm not sure. I found 2 of them from
there's a couple of them.
Well, that would be cool, because I can say Gatlinburg is pretty fucking nice. Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So they've got a haunted tour out there. I'd be willing to do it. But yeah, people will, for whatever reason, she had been gung-ho, this lady back in December, the whole month leading up to it. And I told her, I was like, we'll have to do it this weekend, because we're like 2 weeks before Christmas, and it's going to get rough scheduling wise.
Right.
So it was the day before. It was Friday, and we were supposed to come out on Saturday, and I got no replies ever again. We could have just showed up, because at that point I had her address,
Yeah, but how could we got in the house?
Well, we wouldn't have. I'm just saying, it went that far before, we just finally, I guess maybe they didn't clear it with their significant other. I don't know.
I kind of wondered about that, if that was a place that they didn't own the place, and the landlord found out what they were doing and said, nope.
It could be. I have no idea. But anyway, yeah, you do get ghosted a whole hell of a lot. And I'm not saying this girl in Branson ghosted us. I don't know. I know she listens to the podcast, and we're not blaming her if she decided to take another route or, try something different, or she doesn't want to, get into this, what we do at this moment, whatever works. But I haven't heard from her.
Well, it's very difficult if you're having this paranormal activity and you're trying to get rid of it. I don't know that anybody is really an expert in that field. I mean, maybe the church churches would be probably the best track record of it or the best systems to do that.
Yeah, I don't know either. The reason I was laughing is because Dustin, who's not here yet, just texted that his gas light's been on for a bit, but he's powering through. He's going to come on in, so he may or may not be here. He could run out of gas. He had his son was asleep on him, I guess, and he couldn't. What was it?
He said he had a baby sleeping on him, so he couldn't.
And his baby has had like a double ear infection.
Something like
some
that.
shit that's made him,
But I think it's also like cat rules, where if your cat's sleeping on you and you get up, then you could be charged with like several crimes.
Yeah. So anyway, Dustin's on his way. We never know if Tyler's going to be here or not. It's just if he walks in, we start handing him headphones and tell him where to sit. What were we just even talking about? I don't even fucking remember.
We were talking about the people would ghost you.
Oh, yeah. That's happened for years. Ever since we started doing this, that's happened. It's a fear. Whenever you have an investigation and it starts, you get to the week of, you start worrying. What was weird about that lady back in December was whenever you text someone with an iPhone, it's blue bubbles. You get blue text bubbles. Hers suddenly turned green.
Remember, didn't she change her numbers?
Here's what happened is I was texting her, back and forth. I was doing the blue text bubbles. Everything was cool. I could see the 3 dots when she was responding, whatever. And then suddenly one night I texted her about something about that weekend and it turned up green and there was no reply for days and days and days and days. And then I did get a reply several days later that was back in blue that said she had something happen with her phone. And then from that point forward, they were all green again. So I don't know what the fuck happened there.
I think that could also have to do with like strength of internet connection too.
Yeah, it can. But since she had just said she switched phones, I don't fucking know.
That too.
Anyway,
I've had it with my mom where our internet went out and then her messages just started going green and we could barely receive texts.
I should have brought this. I should have brought this up before he got here because I meant to, because we could have delved into that before he even arrived. But I was talking about going out to the East Coast, drove through Tennessee, Kentucky, up to North Carolina, down to South Carolina, then back through Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas. That was the trip. Everything out there from about West Memphis, the city of West Memphis, Arkansas, from West Memphis east is all Bigfoot. It's all motherfucking Bigfoot. Everything. You can go to any deli and order a Bigfoot with or without slaw.
Why has that become such a cultural icon in the last 5 or 6 years? What brought that about?
Ty?
People are dumber in the South.
Well, what's going on with that?
I don't know.
It's everywhere.
I just got a headrest. I don't know. I can't say that in that area, in that Appalachia area, that is new. I bet it isn't. I just don't frequent that area of the country much.
If you go to any town down there and start asking around, they'll say, "Yeah, I seen him. I seen him down there by where Jethro goes hunting."
I didn't ask.
He's in my backyard.
But it seems like that this has gotten to be, particularly in the last 5 years, a lot more, popular, or is it because you'll see the cutouts for him even here? You see the metal cutouts, and people will put them up places. That didn't used to be. I didn't know if it was a movie or something that brought that about.
No.
Was there a marketing thing or something that caused that to be popular?
In this particular part of the country, I would imagine it's been like this for years. I don't know that, but in the Appalachia area, I would imagine it's been like that for a long time because that's kind of their tourist draw.
Did you guys drive through any Appalachian towns?
Oh, yeah. Tons of them. Yeah, tons of them.
Isn't that just extraordinary?
I didn't stop in any. I didn't have to stop in it. Oh, yeah, I did actually get gas in one. I did get gas in one because their pay at the pump didn't work.
We stopped in some Appalachian towns.
Yeah, I did. We went through several. Anywhere you go out there, any restaurant you go to, any gas station, any roadside gift shop, anything, it's all Bigfoot. Makes sense, for that area. That's a tourist draw for Appalachia, I guess. But anyway, there's a lot of that out there.
I don't know. It just seems like that has gotten to be a lot more popular.
It could be. I don't know.
And I don't know why. I was just wondering about that because, prior to that, my previous podcast from my $6 Million Man story that I always tell on this, that was the only time I ever saw Bigfoot ever come up was in that television show.
Yeah, growing up, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When we were little kids, other than the twice. The 2 episodes where it was on the $6 Million Man, it was on there once where it was Lurch from the Addams Family, who I don't think was as good, and then Andre the Giant, who was a phenomenal Bigfoot. Mm-hmm. Other than that, you didn't see anything about Bigfoot.
Well, growing up, I remember just thinking that Bigfoot was just a story.
Yeah, right,
that was
just
made
a mythical
up.
creature.
Still is.
Well, and I didn't even know there were people out there who'd claim to see it. at that point. I don't know. But speaking of, well, and before you got here, I was also talking about a billboard I saw for the Smoky Mountain Haunted Tours. Hunter looked that up. I believe it's in Gatlinburg. But John is going to be going to
San Francisco to Alcatraz.
God, that's so cool.
Yeah. So that'll be a good one.
They do haunted tours there for Alcatraz.
Yeah, they do. It's Birdman.
That place has got to be haunted as fuck.
Yeah, I would think so.
Now, why would the Birdman haunt Alcatraz? Because he died in Springfield, Missouri at the FedMed.
Yeah, I don't know. I know.
Hold on, what's Birdman?
He was
Birdman?
one of the,
He was
Is this an actual person or is this a Birdman hybrid?
no, it's an actual person.
The
Okay.
Birdman was a guy who, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but he had like a ton of some type of birds, pigeons or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then something happened at the prison he was in, and so they transferred him to Alcatraz. And Alcatraz at the time was viewed as the most hard-ass prison in the entire system, so they didn't allow him to have the birds at Alcatraz. But he retained the Birdman name when he moved to Alcatraz, and then they had a prison riot or something happened, and I don't know, there was some story about him with that riot, which I don't remember. And then later on in life, when he got ill, he was transferred to the prison for federal medical people here in Springfield, Missouri, and he ended up passing away later in life at the FedMed. Now, yeah, some of that may be incorrect, but that's my understanding.
I believe that's right. His name is Robert Stroud, and he did keep birds. He was actually ornithologist. Is that what it is? Is that who studies birds? I don't know what the fuck that is. That's what he was. But they call him the Birdman because he kept birds. And then he did, I think, what I was trying to look at I think he killed a guard at Alcatraz.
Oh, I think.
Okay,
Dude.
Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, I think that's right.
That is right. I'm pretty sure. God damn it. I'm gonna sound like such a child when I say this, but there was like a Call of Duty game.
I thought you were going to say there was an episode of Bluey.
No.
Where?
There was a Call of Duty game that took inspiration from Alcatraz in one of the maps they made, and I'm pretty sure one of the characters was made after Birdman, and he killed a guard so that the four people involved could escape.
Yeah.
They like built a plane or something, but I'm pretty sure the real people built a boat and then
But
were just
seems
never
like-
found again.
Seems like there's a story behind that he didn't really kill the guard, or there was I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe-
he did. In 1916, he stabbed and killed a guard.
Yep, that's what happened in
Okay.
He wasn't one of the people that escaped Alcatraz.
No,
No.
he's not. But I'm pretty sure that they just tied those groups in together just to make the story more interesting for the game. I don't know.
So he was a pimp. He was
Bird pimp?
He was a pimp in Alaska,
Feels
which
like there's-
seems like
there's
a
only, like-
weird location to do it.
There's got to be only like two prostitutes in all of Alaska.
Well, a bartender was harassing one of his, what do you call hookers? I don't, whatever you call them.
One of his bitches.
Yeah, and he killed that bartender, and I believe that was the crime that sent him to prison in the first place. He was actually convicted. He was sentenced to death by hanging, but his sentence was commuted. And you said he died here at the.
died at the FedMed in Springfield, Missouri.
That's what I was trying to find is to confirm.
If you look at the Birdman,
Dustin may know more about this. Do you know anything about Birdman? in
Birdman of
Alcatraz?
Alcatraz.
Let me tell you something about Birdman.
Do you really?
I have no idea what
Oh,
you're talking
fuck.
about.
It's actually it sounds silly, but it's actually a really neat story.
I bet Tyler's.
But I
enjoying
think
Birdman.
I think the Birdman of Alcatraz, for whatever reason, was transferred to.
Yeah, you were right, though.
It's
by
not
the
any
way.
fake cryptid shit. It's an actual person.
It's a guy who owned birds.
so this is real.
He did die here in Springfield.
FedMed, yeah.
In 1963.
To be fair, if the rules of haunting are you could haunt any place you've ever been in your life, I would probably choose Alcatraz because that's really cool.
Why would you want to stay there? I'd go haunt the beach. I would fall back to the beach in Jamaica, and that's a place where I'd haunt.
That'd just be
Haunt a poolside or something.
cool. It'd be cool to haunt Alcatraz. I wouldn't haunt fucking Springfield.
Well, John's going to go.
Boring.
Yeah, we're going to check out
Take some
Alcatraz.
pictures and send them.
Now, with the Smoky Mountain Haunted Tour, do you know, and you may not know anything about this because you didn't even know really where they were going. Is that going to be like they're saying the mountain range is haunted, or
Well,
there's
that was the
a
thing. is
building
on-
that's haunted, or
No.
what are they saying?
On the billboard, it showed a little map with little dots of all the stops that you make on this thing. And they were in the mountains at various places, but I couldn't see exactly where. And I thought to myself, I'll just look that up later. I didn't realize it was going to be so fucking hard to find.
Well, but there are locations that are supposedly haunted. There was a thing of Paranormal Witness about and this, I'm sure you've seen this one, the one about the Hollywood sign.
Oh, yeah.
Where they went out and then that woman who committed suicide there chases them down the hill as they're trying.
That was scary as shit.
That was terrifying, is what that was.
It was a woman, and we say chase, but she just kept appearing closer and closer as they were going down the hill at the Hollywood sign. So
They were trying to leave, and then they couldn't get through the fence, which wouldn't have been a problem for me.
So I've been recently going down the rabbit hole of the missing 411 stuff. Have you guys watched any of that?
I don't know what is that? What
about how people go missing in like national parks?
Yes,
areas of
I've
conservation land and stuff.
Yeah, I've looked specifically at the national parks ones.
There's a really good documentary about it, and people go missing a lot of times because obvious reasons. They go off the trail, wildlife's dangerous,
right.
They
Bears,
fall, you
stuff.
fall and break a leg 20 miles out the trail.
Right.
They might never find you in a place like thousands of miles.
Sure.
But there's also very strange correlations between some disappearances, like people literally like vanishing from a group.
Oh, yeah.
And then appearing somehow 50 miles away, like a day later.
Yeah.
Dead. Sometimes like not even like any obvious sign of injury. They're just dead.
Where's this documentary?
So, I don't know. But the reason I bring it up is because Smoky Mountains is a place where that's one of the
big ones?
One of the hot spots, supposedly, of this.
Well, I was just looking here at some of the haunted locations in the Smoky Mountains. There's a bunch.
You type in like missing 411 Smoky Mountains. I bet you'll get hits.
When you say missing 411, what is that?
That's
is
just
that
what it's
the name of the
called.
show?
I don't really exactly know why they called it that. That's just what there's a
411 is usually like a
isn't that like
a
missing?
synonym for like an index.
Oh, okay.
That's
that's probably what it is because they're
it's-
indexing. That's what they're doing. They're indexing missing people at these places like these parks and stuff.
Yeah, it is. It is a series of disappearances in national parks and wilderness areas.
And there's stories and these stories can't be corroborated because you got to kind of just take them at face value. A lot of like our listeners have to do with us when we say this is a ghost.
Right.
How do you?
But there is a Reddit thread or two about a park ranger supposedly who was telling stories that him and other park rangers have told to each other. This is when I texted you this week that I've been reading about the stairs in the woods.
Yes.
That's from this park ranger that was talking about.
Was there an episode of this about the stairs in the woods? Oh.
Missing 411 is specifically about people going missing in national parks.
Okay. And it looks like it's available on Apple TV and Prime.
It's really good. It's not like a spooky documentary. It's a lot of law enforcement officers are just saying, "Hey, this is what we were told."
Do they have any theories, or even are they saying it's aliens, it's Bigfoot, or I mean,
I was just
is there
looking at
anything they're trying to attribute to this?
The cover art for the show shows a UFO.
The cover art from Missing 411.
Is that not a UFO right there?
That's a different show. That's Missing 411, the UFO conspiracy or something.
Oh.
This was literally just called Missing 411.
Okay.
They mention like people that think that it's aliens, and they also mention other things like this might be just where serial killers go to get away with things.
Right. Yeah,
Because if you find a guy on a trail 20 miles out, like that's a good target.
Surely to God, and I'm not saying this gratuitously either because Tyler's here, but surely to God, one of them has thrown out the theory, or at least some local person about Bigfoot being.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
I'm sure it is, but I also think you'd have to look at the possibility of that's a great area if you're a serial killer. I mean, this would be a fantastic episode of Criminal Minds.
That's obviously like when they first started looking at this, they're like, well, that's what's happening, probably, right? Either it's an accident or humans being shitty to each other.
And we've talked about this before.
Sorry, but when you get a little closer into it, some of them are just very strange. Like I said, like appearing 50 miles away with no injuries, but dead on a mountainside. There was one story about like a little boy who got lost from his family, and the boy was like special needs, so he had to be like taken care of. And they found him something like 50 miles away up a rocky cliff face with no injury and dead. Due to exposure. He died of hypothermia. But they couldn't even get up there without climbing equipment. So how did like this special needs boy disappear from his family in a group, appear 50 miles away like a day later up a rocky cliff face with no injury? And And that's kind of what Missing 411 is about. It's like these very strange deaths and disappearances that can't really be explained very well.
Having just returned from the Smoky Mountains myself, I can tell you, man, you can go for miles and there's not another person out there.
That'd be a prime area for a serial killer.
Well, yeah, and there's actually a the main reason I went is because it's known as is it the smallest national park or least visited national park? It's Congaree National Park in North Carolina. It's essentially a big swamp. It's known for its spiders and bugs.
Fantastic.
And you went there on purpose?
Yeah, well, that's what Andrew said whenever he and I were walking, out they had these big wooden, you have to stay on the wooden thing because if you get off in
Yeah,
here.
I saw your photos.
Yeah, you could get bit by a crocodile or whatever the fuck.
So does the crocodile didn't say, no, the bridge is bad, I can't go there? I mean, why doesn't the crocodile just come on up on the bridge?
They couldn't get up. They wouldn't. It's too high. But anyway, Andrew, as we were walking across there and these giant mosquitoes and bugs are buzzing by you, he actually said, this feels like a place you'd be forced to come. And that's kind of what it's known for. It's known for being the park that's not pretty. It's pretty gritty. But my point is, I mean, hell, and I'm not giving people ideas here, but if you were to, launch a body out into that swamp, you'd never see it again.
Yeah,
would never. If it wasn't, if the crocs didn't get it, or the gators, I guess it would be gators, right? Yeah, the gators didn't get it. The bugs would. I'm talking about spiders, that are that big. Point being,
For those of you listening, he just made a very large circle with his hands.
yes, it's very big. These spiders are gigantic. Remember those yellow spiders?
Yeah,
that we grew up
we
seeing?
used to call them banana spiders.
Yeah.
That's not what they're called, but that's what we call them.
Orb weavers.
Orb weavers, yeah. These are related to those, except they're the grandfather of them. They're bigger. They're bigger than those, and those motherfuckers were huge.
Did you guys know that back, before the dinosaurs, there were spiders
Oh yeah,
the size of houses?
I know that.
Higher oxygen content.
Well, and not only
the
were there,
atmosphere.
what surprised me even more was not only were there spiders, the size of Volkswagens, but there were scorpions bigger than Volkswagens. Scorpions, and they lived in the ocean.
That's a nightmare.
Holy crap! No, let's go back.
hell
to
on earth.
Let's go back to this big ass spider thing. I never heard of that. So
The prehistoric spiders?
The looks like the ones that are on Starship. What
Yes.
was that Starship
Yes,
Troopers?
Starship Troopers,
'Cause that's
yes.
the size of those spiders.
Yeah,
So that was real.
massive. Yeah. Oh yeah.
the oxygen content of the atmosphere back then was higher, so things could theoretically grow bigger.
I mean, things were just warped. Yeah, everything was.
So the spider would have started off little and got that big.
No, it wouldn't be born like the size of a regular spider and then grow into that. The baby giant spider would just be a little bit smaller than the adult giant spider.
I was just trying to look it up here. It's way too much of a.
Okay, I don't like that.
Oh, it's
How
it's
big would the eggs be? Jesus.
I do not like that. So like the movie Starship Troopers.
yeah, but real life. Yeah.
No.
I mean, look at these motherfucking
So
scorpions.
I've always said okay, yeah, dinosaurs
size?
dinosaurs are scary. But for me, I'd rather go to dinosaur time, Jurassic time than than this shit here that Chris is
when
showing
was
on the
Spider Time? When was that?
You mean like what era was it?
Yeah, I mean, is this like how far was that after the dinosaurs or before the
No,
dinosaurs?
I'm pretty sure it's prehistoric. It was pre-Jurassic, one of the other.
What's a good thing that we lowered the oxygen in the atmosphere?
Yeah, we're working on that.
It's
good.
The Paleozoic era is.
So that is before Jurassic.
I've
I
never
believe,
even heard of
if
that.
I remember. You haven't heard any of this? Giant spiders?
No, the only image I have in my head is playing Helldivers.
Yeah, that's that too. Or Lord of the Rings.
Nope.
Shelob.
Nope, not gonna happen.
There was a bridge between. This has nothing to do with paranormal, so I hope people are still listening. There's a genetic bridge between the spider and the scorpions that I was talking about. Now, these scorpions that were in the ocean, that's how scorpions started. They walked along the ocean floor. These scorpions were fucking huge. They were the size of a goddamn Oldsmobile or bigger. I had the size pulled up here a minute ago so you could see, but there was a genetic bridge between those scorpions and the spiders, and in between, which was a gigantic fucking spider. And that's what I was just looking for to get the name of it, but. Megarachne.
Thank God.
Something
Thank
like that.
God those things are dead. That's the only thing I have to say.
Yeah, I would hate to be knocked down a link on the food chain.
That would suck. I mean, we would have to shoot those things with
Yeah, I'd
missiles.
just take myself out of the food chain.
Well, these spiders are gigantic, and the scorpions are terrifying. I was watching a Walking with Dinosaurs. You remember that? I was watching a Walking with Dinosaurs that talked about these fucking scorpions, and it showed them walking along the bottom of the ocean, and then it showed like a car or something in comparison to them, and it's terrifying. They're gigantic.
Well, I can certainly see why when we were little kids, they promoted dinosaurs and not the giant scorpion or the giant spider.
Yeah, I don't remember ever hearing about those.
Pre-Jurassic time's fascinating because not only were there giant spiders, but at one point there was like a giant snake, like the size of
The Titanoboa?
yeah, like giant snake.
Well, how
like,
big is his ass?
Fucking huge.
oh yeah, like
Fucking huge.
yeah, like mind-bogglingly.
Yeah.
huge. Like the anaconda's a little spaghetti noodle compared to this thing.
So this is like the fake AI ones you see that are like the size of rivers.
Yeah, stuff like that.
So that was real.
A typical Titanoboa was 50 feet long.
Jeez, oh my.
Estimates suggest could have been significantly longer, weighed 3,000 pounds.
To me, that's worse than the spider thing.
What's the girth on that?
They didn't. Oh, maybe they did. Why are we talking about dinosaurs?
I don't remember. I was just
He was
thinking,
talking
how
about
did
the
we?
missing people in,
yeah.
But
in
how
the
did that
parks.
get to?
Here's a picture of a picture. Shit, it's a AI rendering of a Titanoboa wrapped around a T-Rex. Would they have coexisted?
I don't know what time period the Titanoboa.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So if
That's for our other podcast. What should we call it?
Walking with dinosaurs.
Walking with.
Is that used?
So if you go back to the missing persons thing, what was the theory that they threw out on that show? What did they
gonna
have
say,
one?
That's why the show's so good. It's because it goes through all the theories.
And
it
that's what I
kinda-
was going to say earlier. You and I talked about this. I think it was on this podcast. If you overlay the map of missing persons
to the cave systems.
cave systems in North America, they line up almost exactly.
Yeah, it's eerie.
You know
how-
how many people have died in going cave diving?
Oh, yeah,
and,
it's
and
Fuck yeah,
caving?
spelunking.
Have you heard about some of the specific stories of how people died in those caves?
The Nutty Putty
Nutty
one?
Putty?
The Nutty Putty Cave
fuck
is
is that?
a nightmare.
Okay, let me explain Nutty Putty. Nutty Putty was a cave that was famous because it was really hard to do. And these spelunkers enjoy the thrill and they like the challenge of fitting through tiny spaces. And this Nutty Putty cave, at one point, you get to the back of it, you have to crawl through it, and the opening is like this, going through a vent.
He's
and you have to
showing a very small area.
You have to control your breathing to reduce your diameter.
Oh God, I've seen that fucking picture.
And then you at the end of Nutty Putty Cave, this is how this dude ended up
I see it.
leaving the earth, is that he crawled in head first,
Took a wrong turn.
went down this tiny little passageway that was a dead fucking end.
I see the picture, and I've seen this.
At essentially like almost a
steep
90-degree
downhill.
angle.
He
Yeah.
was doing basically a headstand with his arms stuck like this.
So if you imagine like a 90-degree angle, like there's
no pictures
there's
of
no
it.
way to get back through that.
He was
once you're
stuck
down there,
and alive like that for days
he's still there.
and died.
His skeleton is still there,
They had to seal it.
or is he still there waiting?
That's his grave.
Nah, he did.
He's not alive.
So I've
my
seen this
God.
picture pop up. I didn't realize Nutty Putty. That's a bizarre fucking name.
Oh, you got the diagram.
Well,
why don't they
it
just-
got its name because of like you remember Nutty Putty, the stuff
Terrible.
you could
That's
came
what
in
it
like a
was.
little egg that you could play with.
Yes.
It's
Are we talking about Silly Putty?
well, it was called Nutty Putty, wasn't it?
Well,
No, it was called Silly Putty.
We called it Silly Putty. I mean, I don't know that.
I mean,
that may
it was.
have
I
been
thought
renamed.
It was pretty fucking nutty.
it could be an off-brand.
I could have sworn it was called
so
that.
so
It was
this
called
cave.
Silly Putty.
This
Well, I
cave
thought that's
is-
what it was named after because it has the same like
Tell
color.
me
and
that this
consistency.
cave is now sealed up and they don't let people continue to do this.
But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
people will anyway. They'll find if there's any way into it. They will. Like I was gonna say, we have spelunkers in my tiny little town.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They
I
will-
used to spelunk.
I know.
You're a
you're-
spelunker from way back.
I sent Chris.
I was a great spelunker.
I sent Chris a photo of, and this is not even something that's considered dangerous. Now, there's no way in hell I would do it, but people kayaking through underwater cave.
That's
Remember
common.
that?
Yeah, there's no fucking, and that's what I was thinking of the whole time we've been talking about this. Josh Gates, who I do like, he's an archaeologist, does Travel Channel shows. One of them is Expedition Unknown. He did an episode one time where he and a cave guy, they were looking for, I don't even remember what they were looking for. It doesn't matter. But they went into this cave. They were in it so long, it took them like a day to get down to where they were going. And they got down where they were going, and it was, you couldn't even bring your hands up. Your hands were trapped to your side as you progressed through. It was getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Okay, that's a good reason not to do that.
And then the motherfucking water started rising.
Nope.
It's always a.
They had to hurry through it to the end and swim. I was like, motherfucker, there is no... And that
So,
haunts my nightmares.
We went spelunking once. You know where the cemetery is in Crane?
Which I know where several are.
Well, the main one that's in town.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
There's a cave located near there, about 2-mile walk off the highway. And then we went to it and we went in it And then when you're walking along, and you've got your flashlight pointed at the ground, and at one point the flashlight light just disappears, and it's a drop, like a 45-foot drop.
Nope.
Straight down.
Is it marked?
No, but there is a tiny little pipe leading from one side of the drop off to the other side, like a little bridge that you can walk across. And we went down it we just took some rope and tied it to the.
You know, I've been reading a lot about cave stories, and this is how people die.
Yeah.
This is the dumbest shit I've ever
We were
heard.
like 16 years old, and it was me and two of my friends. And we tied a rope to this little pipe, and then we rappelled ourselves down to the bottom. There's nothing down there.
No.
No one would have known where you motherfuckers even
Does
were.
one of these?
No, nobody knew
Does
we
one
went.
of these friends have an initial CV?
Yeah.
I know what that V stands for.
God. I know what that CV stands for.
Yeah, we
So
did. We did it.
Is the idea then behind this that these people have gotten lost in the caves?
Well,
Or
that's-
is it human trafficking that they're trying to say, or
No,
is it alien?
I think
is
that's
there any theory?
The theory is what you're talking about, him overlying a missing
Yes.
person.
Yes.
That they went into a cave. And they, like this idiot over here, and they walked across a makeshift bridge. It fell, and they're down there.
Yeah.
There's-
See,
I mean, that could be.
if his rope had came untied, and he'd been the last one down, no one would have ever known where the fuck they were. No one would have ever
See, that's
known.
why they tell cavers, like, tell people where you're going.
Yeah.
And cavers will spend a week in a cave.
Oh, I know
They'll spend a week or two in darkness.
Our grandmother had a cave on her place, and my mom took us back there to see the cave.
I walked up there all the
this is where we
time,
went to.
yeah.
So we went into the cave, and at this point in time, my grandmother could still get around, and she said, there was an area to the very that particular cave had a huge, wide open area, huge.
You mean the entrance?
Yes.
Yeah.
You could go into, but you could look in the back and see areas like little tunnels.
You can see little
almost,
pockets. Yeah, I found Tomahawk back there.
where you could come back in there, and I said no. I'm not going, because she told the story, and you never know if this is a keep the kids out or if this is a real story. She talked about a little dog that she had that got lost.
I remember
back there in
that.
the
Yeah.
cave.
I actually went back in there. There was a flood at one point that came down that hill and washed out part of it, where you could walk back there a little easier. And we did go back there, and I found a fucking tomahawk back there.
Have you ever seen the movie The Descent?
I was gonna bring that up. Yes, that is like the most.
Have you ever seen The
uncomfortable watch.
Descent?
I don't know. I guess I know what that is.
Okay, if you want a scary movie that's really good, it's really, really good.
Because I
good.
can't do that.
Well, it's about caving. That's part of the horror.
It is
It's
a
just
very
regular caving.
uncomfortable
But at the
watch.
end, it takes a turn into our territory. So it kind of combines my two fears of caving and being murdered by a demon,
Yeah,
and it kind of meshes them together.
So it looks like that one, The Descent, is
You
available
have got to watch it.
it's a good movie.
Apple TV and Prime.
It is a fantastic movie.
I've never heard of it.
A lot of these caves that people disappear into are water caves, cave diving.
Especially down here in Missouri with the limestone caves, there's
Now,
water.
There are divers, there are cavers, but you have to be a trained and certified cave diver to cave dive.
Not me.
Because you have to know how to navigate yourself through and get yourself back out with enough oxygen.
Right.
And you got to know the dangers, and sometimes visibility can go from 100% to complete zero in a second.
Well, there's also
So people end up going back in there, running out of air and killing themselves.
people forget there are other gases that are released down there too that are fatal. In
That's
large
why they
amounts.
used to keep the birds.
Have you seen a like those underwater caves? They're called haloclines, I think, where there would be a layer of water and then a layer of more or less dense water that's of a different has different properties, viscosity. I don't know, density, and it looks like. Since that more or less dense water is clear, it looks like an air pocket. So people get up there, take their gear off, and then drown.
Yeah, I don't like all this.
No.
That's why I don't
Let's
know
go
about,
back to Ghost
I don't know
that
about
I
this
like.
movie, The Descent.
Don't watch The Descent 2. I'm pretty sure it's bad.
Now, when we say I don't mind demons and all that shit, but if we're talking about tight
I don't-
spaces and
Well, it's about caving, so yeah.
No.
There's some type
No, I
of
wouldn't
space
do that.
stuff
I'm
in
terrified by that.
I've always
Bring
been
the demons back.
I've always been fascinated with looking at like missing persons, missing 411, and then if you go into that rabbit hole, you're gonna go into the cave stuff.
And that's before we wrap up here. That's one of the things I was thinking about. Over the past couple of years, I've gone to several national parks, and it's bizarre to me. They allow you 24 hours a day just to go up there
Yeah, it's
Anywhere.
public.
Just
Yeah,
to
you
go
can-
up there.
yeah.
Now I'm talking about some of these roads, especially out in the west, going up, to the Rocky Mountains. Some of these roads are that wide with no guardrail, and
Okay.
you're allowed to just go.
Yeah, I don't understand how that can be because even the parks here in Greene County, Missouri, close, and you can't be in those
Oh,
parks.
you can camp. No, you can. Andrew just went camping in Colorado at a national park last week.
Those parks make ours look like parking lots because they're so massive.
You can just go.
I mean, there'd be no way to enforce.
You couldn't enforce a curfew.
now there are areas within each
Too big.
park where a pass is required. But if you just want to go camp, you're free to go. Just go camp. Just pick a spot out in the wilderness,
Yeah.
in this vast fucking wilderness, and camp. You can do it.
That's why, honestly, the national park system and getting it established was the best thing America's ever done.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Well, not if there's all these missing people there.
Well, I mean, there's missing people in this city you're in right now.
Yeah,
I guess that's true.
But anyway, it's just always fascinated me. I was thinking about that as I was driving up this winding road last year on Wyoming, I don't remember where the
that
fuck
Pikes
I was.
Peak, the
I
area?
did not go to no, fuck that. I'd already heard Dustin's stories about, and the road is not as wide as your fucking car, and there's no guardrails, and when you're going up, all you can see is sky.
That's Pikes Peak. You're describing
You
it.
can see sky and then sky
and then,
here.
Yep. And then
And over here, it's the mountain, but over here, it's nothing but
And then on-
And you
fucking death.
drove off that? You drove into that?
Yeah, once you get on that path, because I stopped. and
there's
asked-
no
You can't turn
There's
around.
two places to turn around going up Pikes Peak. That road
How do your
this
brakes
was,
not overheat coming
well,
down that?
they stop you at those two stops. They get the temperature of your
Yeah.
brakes, and they will say you can't leave. Go shop at our gift shop we strategically placed here.
Yep.
Go shop, spend some money. In 2 hours, come back, and we'll check your brakes again.
Well, here's how high it was, and this does not have anything to do with paranormal. We're going to have to wrap it up. But this is, first of all, it was bizarre to me driving up there thinking, I don't need a special license for this. This is fucking insane. They let people just come do this all hours.
Yeah.
So you can drive up that. And then at the base of it, we were out there during record heat. It was 104 out in at the Grand Teton area, and it was 104 down here. Once I finally got out of the car up the top, because at the top I was like, I got to get out of this motherfucking car, otherwise I'm going to slit my own throat. Because once you get on this road, there's no getting off of it.
No, you're in for a nightmare.
You're in for a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, it sucks, man.
Nope.
And you can think all the way up. Well, I'll turn around. There is no next point. It's this road the whole way up.
The way Pikes Peak used to be, now it's paved, and they've widened it, and they've made it safer, and they put guardrails up.
The road I was
when
on was
I
not
was on back then, it wasn't. It was dirt, and I'm not joking. Like you said, maybe a foot or two.
Yeah.
Between your tire and certain death.
Yeah,
Nope.
it really is.
Nope,
I
nope.
mean, when you're in the car, you can't see anything but space.
No, don't do that.
It's terrifying. It's
Don't do
worse than.
Also, to swing this back around to the paranormal,
we should do that.
on the way up Pikes Peak, there is a Bigfoot sign. Because
I
there's
think
been
you
there's
mentioned
been
that.
Bigfoot sightings
Of course.
on Pikes Peak.
Yeah, good place to stop. We'll be back next week.
More Dark Matter on the way next week from Pythian Castle in Springfield, Missouri with Midwest Ghost Hunters.